just let social medias catch up with the live on YouTube, our Twitter, Motocross and Speedo Memories, and the Facebook pages and the group. Just let it catch up with itself. My special guest is not with me, Matt. Just had one look at my computer. Yo, Lars Knight, how's it going? That's how it should look, people. If you register your Facebook, there you go, look. There's James Brown, how's it going, buddy? 7 p.m. UK time, baby. Andy Hobbs. Gary David, I've just had a message off of his former mechanic, just saying he's having problems. I'm just going to message him now, sorry about this. Sorry about this, people. Right, just had a message to say that he's on a max. He's just, you okay, Lee? How's it going, Wayne Davis? Evening, Gary. Evening, Dan. That's how it should look. Look, if you guys message it, okay. Register it, should I say. Hi, Lee. Buzzing for this one. How's it going, Adam? So my guest is not here yet. Special guest. I've just spoke to his former mechanic, Mikey Whitewick, who's just in touch with him. Said he's just having problems on his Mac at the moment, but hopefully we'll get that sorted out. So I'll get my thank yous out of the way. Lee Ashby here, Motocross and Speedway Memories. I'll get my whoever's put Hey Lee there, not registered, so I'm not sure who that is. And there's another one there, not sure who that is. Hello, Herb Gerlins. How's it going? From Holland. How's it going, Rich? How's it going, Craig? How's it going, Laney Lou? Right, mate. I was just saying to a few of the guys that my guest is not here yet. I just spoke to his former mechanic. There's another one there that's not registered, so I'm not sure who that is. Basically, guys, before you come into the video, there's a link on the post. You click on that, and then it allows your profile to be seen as so. So I can quote your name and everything when you give a question. If not, just write your full name under each post, and then I'll know. Stephen Tappenden, how's it going? Peter Jeffrey, how's it going? So I'll get my thank yous out of the way, and then hopefully, hello, Vanessa Green, how's it going? Been a while, yeah. Hopefully I'll get the guest on soon. He's just having a bit of... been cutting out some laps today. Ooh, Rich is back on it. So I will get these thank yous underway, and then hopefully my guest will be on soon when he sorts out his Mac he's on at the moment, apparently. Big thanks for the support to Simon Pardo of White Eagle Finance. They give quality financial advice for pensions, mortgages, investments and protection. Check out his website at www.whiteeaglefinance.co.uk. You can quote myself, Lee Ashby, or Motocross and Speedo Memories for free advice with Simon. So check that out. Big thanks to the MX legend Stefan Everts with his S72 Gin and Vodka brand. Check his website out on www.s72gin.com. You will see all the going across the bottom of the screen here as well with the websites of the guys that have been supporting me. So much appreciated. Big thanks to Lee Owen of Owen Developments. You can check out his shop site on www.owenturbos.com. And on his other one is www.owendevelopments.co.uk. Big thanks to Terry Smith. And his Terry Smith Painting and Decorating. You can call him on 07961537505 for any of your painting and decorating needs in the south. Also, big thank you to Craig Triplett of Jardine Conservatories. You can check these guys out on www.jardineintelford.co.uk. So thank you very much to those guys. Anyone that would ever like to get involved and advertise with me, you've got my all these guys are on my website. www.mxspeedwaymemories.co.uk, and you'll see the countdown to the next one. Also, there's loads of stuff on that website, also all on social medias. But anyone that wants to get involved with advertising or help me out with what I'm doing, that would be much appreciated. Just contact me on Facebook or any of the above. Brett Revel, former mechanic. Yes, Mikey Whitewick's on there, the former Steve Dixon mechanic when Zach Osborne came over to the UK, rode in the British Championship in the GPs. Evening, Neil Thomas. Seen as Omsy got a bike now, need up in the ante. I can see you there, buddy. Sweet. So I'll get my introductions underway then, people. We've got the thank yous out the way. I can see you all coming in. There's plenty of you guys in here already, which is cool. So I will get the, I can see my special guest at the bottom of my screen now, ready to come in, which is beautiful. So I will get the introduction underway then. So here's the video. Here we go. Right, here he is. Here's the man himself, Mr. Zach Osborne.
How's it going?
How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Sorry for the delay. I was dinking around with the computer.
Yeah, I had the messages off Mikey, so I was saying hopefully I'll get it sorted. I'll get my thank yous out the way, and then fingers crossed you're in. Awesome.
Yeah, my computer's a little older, and I don't have Chrome, so I had to grab my wife's computer quick and sort it all out. And I'm not very computer savvy, so sorry about that.
That's all right. No problems, mate. I'm just pleased to have you on. Really appreciate your time, mate. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Obviously, thank you very much to your former mechanic, Mikey Whitewick, who I speak to quite a bit, for sorting this out with you. Really appreciate it as well that he sorted that out for you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, and thank you, Mikey.
I will get his question out of the way first, actually, because I've had a couple of requests off of a couple of guys who I thought I'd get their questions out of the way first. One was from Mikey that just sent it to me not long ago. So I hope I'm going to pronounce this right. He did say to me, just ask him what he thinks of Dade City for me, is it?
Yeah, actually went back to Dade City. We went there just out of the blue randomly for this little night race when we were training for it would have been the 2009 season. So it was like into 2008, and they were having this big sponsor cup series at Dade City, which at the time was pretty serious. Like I think it was like $5,000 to win the main event, which it was pretty big for like just an average local race. And they were doing it like 30 or 40 times a year, a couple times a week. They were having these races. And I went there, I was riding a 252 stroke. Everybody else was on the 450. And I actually was kind of a little bit overconfident going, and ended up getting ran over in the main event, first lap, destroyed the bike. And yeah, it was just a disaster. I remember we went through McDonald's after that, and it was pretty much all we could really afford, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what a time.
You had to slum it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why Mikey wanted to bring that up then. I get it now.
Yeah,
right, okay.
We all love that story. It's a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to do quite a bit of that, hopefully. Also, I had Paco Castagna on. He's a two-time Italian Speedway champion. I had him on the other night, and I managed to surprise him with a special appearance from Stefan Everts, which was pretty cool, his reaction. But anyway, he sent me a message as well privately and just said, can you ask this to Zach? Because he won't be able to make it live. He'll watch the recording of it. So I said, okay, cool. So I've got this. He put, what's the most difficult part to be consistent at when you're not at the absolute top, but you're working your way up, as in diet, physical training, adapting to the bikes you have and the environment you're in, still making results, or anything else, as money is always limited when you're on the way up?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think it's easier to see back into that once you kind of get to that consistent level. It's really easy to see what you were doing wrong when you weren't at that consistent level. And the biggest thing for me is consistency in training, and, not having those days off, and, 2 days off or 3 days off here and there, or blaming things that you really shouldn't blame. Just the accountability side of it is huge for me. Having no excuses, basically. Like it's all on you at the end of the day, and you're the only one that's going to make it happen. So just accountability and really just taking it on head on. Makes
sense. So what's the latest then, Zach? Obviously, before we get into a few more of the questions, I was just going to say, what's your current latest on I know you've had a bit of a back injury. You missed the last round, etc. What's the latest, and what's the plans going forward?
Yeah, so I have a herniated disc in my back and my low back that's causing some sciatic pain and some sacroiliac joint pain, and it's getting better. I got an injection last week, an epidural injection, to really go in there and calm the nerve down and try to allow it to be absorbed back into my spine. So I'm on the mend. It's coming around. I think the last 4 or 5 days have given me some really good confidence and hope that it'll be good again soon, So I'm trying to take off the next 2 weeks of riding, and then we have actually 2 weekends off in the series after the third Dallas.
Okay.
So after that'll give me 3 whole weeks to get back into the swing of things before the Atlanta races. And I think the Atlanta races are going to be really, really cool. So I'm trying my best to get back for those and be 100% fit and on form for that.
Yeah, fair enough. I just better say a thank you for this, that the man here got your shirt here that's been signed on the number there, a beauty.
Nice.
Very nice. Just show
Where did you get that from? That's an older one.
So it's from Tom Brown, who runs a motorcycle shop in the UK called Moto Extreme.
Okay, I know of it.
Yeah, the church, Tom Church and Coppins and that used to come from that way, and Saudi and that when they were staying there. So massive thanks to him for hooking me up with that for tonight.
That's really cool.
Yeah, very cool. Right, I've got Lars Knight here on Facebook. He said, I remember giving a presentation at Cosworth the year they were doing his Yamaha engines. Can you ask him what that Cosworth Yamaha was like to ride? It looked awesome in the workshop, and I'm a big fan of Zacho and can't wait to see him back.
Yeah, still, like the last bike that I had, the 2012 bike, was ridiculous. It's still probably the fastest 250F I've ever ridden. A lot went into it, and it was actually really reliable. I know that Steve gets a bad rap for that stuff. We had literally one failure the entire year, but it cost me most of my GP season that year. But man, the thing was unreal. I went to Cosworth one time whenever we first started that project, and the level there was pretty different, like to your average motocross shop. So it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. So how young were you then, Zach, when you got to go on your first bike? And can you remember what the bike it was and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course, PW50. I mean, that's pretty much everybody's first bike, right? PW50, yeah. I would have been, I believe I was 5, maybe 6. I didn't really start racing until I was 8. It was more of a fun thing in the backyard. My dad raced drag cars professionally, so he was gone quite a lot, and it just never really kind of unfolded until I was like 7 or 8 that I would go racing, and even that was at a pretty low level at like what we would call like a fairgrounds type race, just like grassroots backyard type stuff. So yeah, started off slow and progressed quickly though.
How old would you say that you were when you sort of thought to yourself, do you know what, I could do this as a professional job? Like, what sort of age do you think you were?
Probably 13, maybe 12 or 13 was when I sort of thought, hey, this could be a real gig at some point. I would say that I struggled in that time period as well, though, like as a kid, trying to keep the joy of racing, and also I was already kind of not really getting paid, but in a sense with bikes and all that stuff, there was quite a lot of pressure. So it was, it was a strange period for me because I was, like I said, I was trying to keep the joy, but also was kind of missing out with the business side of stuff. And it was tough.
So it got quite serious quite quick then for you.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, my things are disconnected.
You're all right? Oh, have they? No,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry.
Cool. No problem. Right, I don't know who's wrote this. Someone's put, did he enjoy the pre-83 125 at Oldsbury, is it? I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. Just cut out your sound. I can see you okay, just can't hear you. Is there, can you hear, I can hear you now, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Yeah, actually that was a really fun time. There's some pretty cool pictures from that race. and I had a blast that day. I went with my mate, 80 Hoskins, who does a lot of the old school vintage stuff. And we had a blast that weekend. I think there was a modern class as well. So I got to ride a little bit on my normal bike. And I think I rode, I want to say it was like a 74 or a 75 Yamaha 250 that day that some guy was like, hey, I really want you to ride my bike. And I'm like, I don't know if you really want me to ride anything. Like I'm not exactly easy on parts, but yeah, he was stoked to let me ride it. And yeah, it was a great time. The whole vintage scene there is really neat. My mechanic, Dave Feeney, who's super into vintage stuff, he's older and he loves that stuff. So we went to Farley a couple years back whenever I did the Nations at Matterley. And man, the whole vintage scene there is just it's I would compare it to like the atmosphere and the crowd to like our GNCC racing, where it's just super laid back. Everybody's there to have fun, and it's not serious in the slightest, but the racing's good and it's quite fun.
Very good. Signing autographs, pictures, all that sort of thing is very cool as well. I've got someone here and they've not registered the name, but does he miss the sand training in Europe?
I do. I don't miss the cold and the long winter days, but I definitely miss, just if you could like transport Lommel to Florida, I would miss that. I'd be all in on that. But yeah, it is what it is. You take the goods with the bads,
So that must have been obviously good for the training as well, for the stamina, the obviously longevity in motos on the sand like that.
Yeah, it is. And we have a couple places here in Florida, one being Croom, that's really deep sand. One that's, that we ride quite often. It's not Lommel deep, but it's good fun and deep. Mm-hmm. And I whenever I owned my place in South Carolina, we had a super sick sand track there that was like legit Lommel deep. But I miss those long, hard winter days. It makes you appreciate, kind of where I'm at now and the 80-degree March days and nice weather.
Bit different, yeah.
Yeah.
It's freezing here right now, Zach.
I think it's like 84, 85 outside right now, which is like 30 for you.
Wow.
Let's see.
Yeah, we're sort of more like 3 or 4 at the minute.
Yeah, 80 degrees it is today.
Yeah, it's not like that here, mate. We've got howling winds and warnings of wind and all sorts going on here. So, but we're all good in here. Yeah, it's not cool.
Hey, just quickly, is that McGrath helmet real?
Yes, it's basically like just the replica. You remember the replica?
Oh, okay. On the back? It's not one of his?
No, it's one of mine that I raced like in about 97.
I was going to say, that's pretty unreal.
Yeah, I had it in 97.
I have the RC replica from that year, the Spitfire one.
Oh, real cool.
I have the same one. Yeah, but I didn't know that one looked from my angle. It looks pretty real. I was like, dang, that's sick.
Yeah, it's nice. I do like to keep it. That's the only sort of thing I got really back from my racing in the 90s. So
yeah,
I like that one. That's a cool one. Right, I've got Peter Jeffrey here. He's put, can Zachary do a big shout out to my best mate, Nutty Jim, who I raced with back in the 90s? Proper thanks.
Yeah, what's up, Nutty Jim? How are you, dude?
Cool. Thank you very much for that. There you go. Peter, check that out. Right, I've got Ian Chesterman here. He's put, I've still got the signed goggles that you signed for Pat Stott's 90s motocross back in the day. That's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
It's always cool. With Instagram and like social media and stuff, it's cool to see like people who have stuff from way early in my career. I have a lot of stuff from my career. I have kind of gear and bikes and stuff from most of the years. So it's cool to see people that have stuff. Sometimes I try to trade some stuff. Last year I traded, what was it? I traded something for one of my jerseys back, and then I know what I did. Yeah. I traded Steve Mathis a Des Nations jersey for a Brownie jersey from his Honda Troy days.
Oh, nice!
Proper thick cotton one with all the holes cut in it and stuff. It was pretty sweet.
If you ever want to trade with anyone, you want to hook up with that Tom Brown, the Moto Extreme, the one who supplied me with that.
Really?
Wow, he has got the maddest stuff I've ever seen. Like JMB stuff from like right back in the day, JT, cool. All of it. You give me about.
I'm more of a '90s guy, like '90s moto.
Yeah, he gave me about 12, 13 shirts for Tortelli when I did his interview, like the proper Oxbow, old school, and everything. Yeah,
that's sick.
He's got mad stuff there. So he's the man to trade with.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool. So he's got literally every rider in the world from the 80s, 90s, everything. He's got loads of stuff. It's mental up there. It's brilliant. What was I looking at? Yeah. So anyway, this chap here has put out of all your big wins to date, which are certainly in accruing up now. What would you say was your most satisfying and why?
One that stands out to me big time is the New York Supercross in 2017. It was just one of those days where everything was slow. You know, it came to me easy. I was never even like close to my limit. I pulled both sessions during the day. It rained in the night, and the track was covered. And then we had 2 practice sessions. I pulled both of those. Won my heat race. Won the main event. I got like a mid-pack start, and I passed for the lead at like 7 minutes, which is hard to do, you know. So that one's pretty special. Both of my Hangtown wins in the lights class were pretty unreal. Like just 1-1. Any day that you can go 1-1 is a crazy day. My Red Bud win last year to win the 450 title. My WW ride last year was pretty unreal. All the 1-1 days outdoors are like the ones you remember the most. Those are days when things are easy and clicking, and you know those are the days you train for, you know.
As in overall title for the year, obviously your first one must have been pretty special, but is there one that sort of stands out title-wise for you at the minute?
Yeah, the first one was unbelievable, you know, like how do you top that? And not to say that, not to sound ungrateful or anything, but the others have kind of paled in comparison as to that feeling, that buzz, and the atmosphere of that place. And just that night was really, really special. Like it's pretty crazy. This year, the title I won in 2020 with the 450 championship, it was very stressful. It was more like a relief than anything, whereas the other one was so far away from me to being mine in a span of 15 minutes. Like I felt every emotion in between, and it was amazing.
I've got Brett Revel here. He's put your battle at Foxhills with Tonus. Can you remember that?
Yeah, still feel that one today. I had a massive crash in the second race. I think I won the first moto. I don't remember exactly, but I think I had a bike issue the prior round at Desert Martin, so I was down a couple points, and I won the first moto pretty easily, if I remember correctly. And then the second moto, we had a really good battle, probably what he's talking about. And at the top of one of the hills, there was like a little single, and then you drop down the big middle hill, and my hand came off. And when I got my hand back on, I grabbed the front brake and just yarded it massive, and just took a digger, really jacked my shoulder up. I mean, I didn't get surgery at the time, but it was bad. Still pretty sore.
Well, because I'm sure, wasn't that one of your first races when you first ever came over to here?
That was in 2008. I think what he's talking about was in 2011. Yeah, 2011. Yeah, Fox Hills was my first championship ever.
Yes, and because it's actually my hometown, Swindon, where Fox Hill is. So I was actually there and saw you, and see you scrubbing all the way down the valley there, all over the tabletops, and I was like, "Whoa, look at this kid!
Yeah,
he looks cool." And it was good to watch you. So it was nice to see your first ever race there, and especially in my hometown was pretty cool. What did you actually think of Fox Hill?
I love that track. It's one of the better tracks in the world, in my opinion. You know, just for the buzz of it being Fox Hill. You know, there's been so much history, the motocross history there. There's not ideal. It's not great, but if you catch it on the right day, it can be great. You know, like I didn't ever have a mutter there, but we had some pretty good conditions there a couple times that were just spot on. Like, you know, the traction's like Velcro, and it's quite hairy. You know, like those hills are massive. So, but yeah, I love that place.
How did it actually come? How did it actually come about with you getting to come over to Europe, to the UK then, Zach? How did that actually come about?
Yeah, so I was hurt in 2008, and I was riding for Yamaha Troy at the time, and I went to breakfast at this little diner right by my apartment in California, and I was sitting by myself just eating breakfast. So I was about to go out for some training, and Ash Kane and Rob Walters, Doc Wob, walked in, and they're like, "Hey, you want to come sit with us?" And we were like just kicking it around, like, "Oh, you should come do some GPs, whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, for sure, dude. Like, that's never gonna happen, you know." And later that year, they had Kenneth Gunderson who got hurt, and then Martin Barr was injured at some point, and they were like, "Hey, you know, we have a spot to ride Foxhills and Lommel the following weekend, and you know, we'll see how it goes from there." So I was like, okay, you know, I had nothing going on. I had a broken wrist at the time that they called, and I cut my cast off, rode like 2 times before I went to just give it a go, and yeah, the rest is history.
Fair play, brilliant.
5 years later on the same team.
Yeah,
And, we had a lot of fun.
We'll discuss that about the team and everything. Got another question here. Are you planning ever to come back to Europe at any stage in the future?
My wife and I have kicked it around at points, but I don't know if I definitely don't think I will now with everything that's going on and going down. It's hard to travel right now, even within America. It's a much more of a challenge than it ever has been. And I don't think that I could go there and do it properly and enjoy it the way I would expect to enjoy it, you know, with everything that's going on, and to move my family there and that kind of stuff, it would just be too much at this point, I think.
Yeah. Quite a lot of guys are coming in with the questions about the British stuff. Ben Lambert Williams is here. Has put, what was your favourite track in the UK? You sort of mentioned you like Foxhill, but
Foxhill's good. I mean, in my opinion, Matterley is one of the best tracks in the world, period. But I also loved this place, Ashdown Woods in Blueberry. We originally, whenever I went there, like no one went there. Me and Jason Dugan kind of found it, and we went there a bunch before a lot of people started coming. It's just such a unique track. It's like kind of like Fox Hills. I think the dirt's a little bit better, and we rode there a lot because you could ride there anytime. Like you can just go there, and as long as you can get through the puddles, like it's going to get good by the end of the day, you know? So I always really just enjoyed going there and enjoyed riding there. I did an enduro there once that was quite fun as a traveling marshal, actually, because we found out about it too late. And then, so me and Jordan, the practice mechanic at the time, we went and we bolted to the shop. We were like, we got to get there. So we got there, and it was just taking off as we got there. And I'm like, oh man. So we went to the sign up, and I'm like, hey, I just want to ride. Like, I don't care if you score me or whatever. And they're like, well, we can't really do that, but we'll give you a yellow vest and you can be a traveling marshal. And if you see somebody, just stop and pick them up. So I was like, all right. So I just went out and rode for 2.5 hours just as a traveling marshal, but it was a great time. And yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed that place.
Got also Ash Novak here that's put, ask him if he's going to win outdoors again.
Yeah, I mean, that's a priority. Like, to defend my plate would be really awesome. I think I'm in a good position. Obviously, I need to get this injury healed up and stay healthy the last 5 Supercrosses and put in a good little bit of training there. We have a month gap this year that we've never really had before, so it'll give me some time to really grind and make it happen. And I think it's all to play for.
I've also got Wayne Davis on YouTube. But what did Zach think of the British Championship races?
I enjoyed it. I hear just horror stories about like how it is now, but at the time it was pretty legit. You know, in my opinion, it was the most legit domestic championship in Europe. But it was fun. I always enjoyed it. I always enjoyed being there. It was good for me because, you know, at times I was like 5th to 10th in the GPs. Sometimes I was like 3rd to 5th in the GPs. But on those 5th to 10th years, it was really good for my confidence to be able to go there, win, make some money. And at the time when I won my British Championship, it was pretty massive accomplishment. It was the biggest thing that I had ever done to that point, and kind of against all the odds. So it was really cool.
Brilliant. That was from Josh Waterman as well, the sand question. Hi, Josh. He's AMCA champion and all that. You probably know Josh from the UK.
Yeah, of course.
Great rider. Ian Chesterman, I had this question down as well. Supercross or outdoors, and AMA or AMX GP? What's your favourite? As if you had to pick between the outdoors and Supercrossing.
I enjoy riding Supercross. Now, outdoors comes a little bit more naturally to me, so it's easier, and I think it's just kind of what I favor. But Supercross is a big challenge for me, and I really do enjoy that too. So it's kind of hard to say. I would probably say outdoors. You know, I like to suffer. I like those long hot motos in the summertime, and I excel when others are kind of faltering. So it's just comes more naturally to me. And AMA or MXGP, I mean, they're both. It's just so far apart, you know, in my opinion. Like the racing and the way, it's hard to compare the two, you know. So at this point in my career, I would say AMA, but there were points in my career where I would have said MXGP, and I wish there was a way that we could have one outdoor series, you know, amongst everyone, a Supercross series and an outdoor series combined with GP and AMA. But yeah, maybe someday.
Yeah,
dream big, right?
Dream big, right? Yeah, exactly that. James Stenery has put, you have some amazing tracks in the US. Is there any over there that are close in dirt style, etc., to race in Europe?
No, not really. I would say the closest comparison would be Teutschental is very close to what we race here. You know, it's rip deep, ruts are massive, bumpy, but not like ridiculous. I would say that that's the closest comparison as far as the two go. We don't really have any hard slick tracks like, say, Lockett or I don't know, that Russia track, super hard packed and gnarly. We don't have anything like that. So I would say that the closest tracks would be like Teutschental and most of our tracks, you know, like a High Point or somewhere like that.
This must be someone that knows you. They put, do you miss the Toby Carvery?
Yeah, of course. Well, that was like the Sunday meal, right? After the race.
Sunday
Yeah,
meal,
I think about it often. If we could find one. If not, it was KFC, of course.
Oh yeah, like a bit of chicken, eh? There's also Ash Novak said, "Can you shout out to my boy Ollie Novak?"
Yeah, what's up, Ollie? How's it going, dude?
Nice. Got Gary David here. He's put that pass on Joey Savacci to win. Just whoa.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I mean, the whole thing, just the way that it all played out that night was pretty crazy. I've watched the race, I don't know, 200 or 300 times at this point, like, and it still gets my heart rate up. And it's crazy, you know. At no point after I got up did I think I was going to be able to win, you know, like I went into that main event with all the hope of winning my first title, and then it was all gone right there, you know, within 5 seconds of the gate drop. So pretty crazy.
Yeah, pretty cool. Nick has been Hardy, the crazy granddad himself. He's put, will you race the VMX Donations at Farley Castle in the future? Nick Hardy.
I would love to. Yeah. Like I said, my mechanic and I went there a couple years ago, and I was like, someday we're going to build a bike and bring it back and do this race, you know? So that's one of my dreams, is to do my own bike up and come there and race.
I just got Chris Stone on here. I know he's involved in racing the great UK Evo that he organises. I remember racing the Yamaha 1980 125 and 250 in the Twin Shock series in the UK. He rode it like he stole it.
Yeah, that day at Osborne, I did a couple other races as well. Langrish, one at Langrish, and then I don't even remember, but I always loved that stuff.
That's pretty cool. I got Adam Fry here from the UK, but hi Zach, big fan from the UK. At what point did you know you were going to catch Savacci in that epic Vegas race, and has he ever spoken to you since? I try and travel to 2 or 3 Supercrosses every year, but never done an AMA outdoors. If you had to recommend one round, which would you suggest? Good luck with the rest of the season.
For the first question, I mean, I didn't, you know, until the last loop section, 50 meters before the finish line. But I had hope the last couple laps, but then when I came into the stadium on the last lap, I still had to pass Melross with 3 corners to go to get to him, to pass him. You know, it was still not looking good, even with like a quarter of a lap to go. So yeah, it was one of those things. And we're actually, I mean, it's not like we hang out daily, but I speak to him, he speaks to me. It's not really a big deal anymore.
And I think
And
he
then
asked about an AMA
Oh,
round,
yeah.
AMA outdoors round. What would you recommend if you was to go to one?
The best is probably for spectating is probably Hangtown or the Thunder Valley in Colorado. That's a really cool race. It's a cool area, like cool surroundings, and the track's cool. I mean, there's always Redbud, right? It's pretty epic. It's pretty famous track. It's hard to say from a spectator standpoint. I think the best spectator race is probably the Thunder Valley race because it's kind of on the side of a hill. It's a bit like Matterley, like you can see kind of everywhere from anywhere.
Good, yeah, I like that. The viewing's very good. Brett Revel put 2011 at the end of that season. Ben sorted me out with the bike minus all the Cosworth parts.
Nice, that's cool.
I'm sure. Yeah, very nice.
I still have a full Dixon bike that I'm restoring from my 2012 season. So one day I'll get a picture of that up, post it up.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. Yeah. What sort of bikes in there? You mentioned you got some bikes and kit. What sort of bikes have you got then, Zach?
I have probably like 20 bikes. I was really fortunate that my parents kept some bikes from my career and they were, in a financial position to be able to do that. So I have a 50, a 60, my Loretta's winning Super Mini, my World Championship winning 85. I have one-off 65, 85 combo that my mechanic had built for me when I was a kid. I have my first Supercross bike, which was from Daytona in 2006. I have 2 of my championship bikes in my possession. I have 4 total to go. Eventually they'll all be in the same spot. I love Z50s. That's like my little thing. So I have two Z50s, and I'm trying. My dream bike for my collection is Christmas edition Z50, which is like the chrome one, the 1986. They only made it 1 year, and there were like 4,000 or 5,000 pieces. They're pretty rare, but they're one sold on this famous TV auction here in America at the beginning of last year. It was literally in the crate, and the guy sold it for $10,000. I mean, it had never been taken out of the crate. Yeah. So and honestly, they're worth that, in that condition. But now, literally everyone who has one, whether the tank's bent or the fenders, like, I've got a $10,000 bike. Like, who wants to give me $10,000 for it? So I'm gonna have to let the price taper back down from the. Hopefully, none of them go up for auction and pull 10 grand. Surely
someone will see this and hook Zach up. Get a lot of weird stuff on here that we managed to get sorted out. That's weird. Yeah, that'd be cool. I've got a few pictures of you actually as a youth. I think I dug deep and found a few here. I hope this is you anyway.
Yeah, that's my first year Supercross. I think that looks like Vancouver or Toronto, one of the two.
It's like a nice old stadium in there as well.
Oh yeah, that's old. That's from Las Vegas World Mini Grand Prix in 2000, maybe.
Cool. Got one
2001. Yep. That's an oldie. That's 03. Yep, that was my first year on the KTM 85. Did a lot of testing with that bike in Austria and Germany, and that was the final production bike. Pretty cool. Same year, that's Minio's in Florida, I believe. Vegas, that's sick.
Yeah, I must find a few of them.
Nice, that's cool.
Yeah, very cool. Right, I've got someone here put no name on this one. They put, did you like Langrish in 2010? My son was 10 at the time. He's now 21, and he still has the T-shirt you signed in his wardrobe.
Nice. Yeah, I love Langrish. Langrish is another one of those like Foxhill type tracks. It's just like so traditional, old school motocross. It always scared me a little bit because it's like so fast. The one year I raced the 450 there, and I was it was my 09 season, I guess. I raced the 450 in the British Championship, and it scared me a little bit. Like, it's so fast in some places, and it's so hard. Like, if you hit the ground there, it's not going to be good,
Yeah. Back in the day, it used to be sort of same as it is, but no jumps in it, pretty much. So
yeah,
it was quite.
There's still not many jumps. I
Yeah,
was blown
compared.
away. The one year that we were there for the Ken Hall, they did the
Yes.
sidecars, and I mean, I've seen
it.
sidecars quite a bit, but the race there, they were like 3 or 4 seconds a lap slower than us. I'm like, that's ripping.
Yeah, massively. I've got Dan Merrifield here. But I remember seeing Zacho double down the steps at Farley Castle 2010 British Championship. Great rider in person. Good luck going forward, Zach.
Yeah, that's another one of those days I was talking about where things are easy and coming to you.
Yeah,
I think I
flowing.
won all 3 motos that day, and it was just that was my first Farley experience, and I was like, man, this place is so cool. You know, at the time I probably didn't appreciate the history and the things around the place enough, but now, you know, looking back, I do, and it was such a cool day.
I've got Mr. Vaughan Williams here. He was a quality schoolboy rider in his day in the England. He's friends with Mikey as well. He put, did Mikey Whitewick ever give you any rider tips that have stuck with you to this day?
I think Steve did enough riding tips for the entire team, personnel, truck driver, everyone. So, and the most famous Steve quote was like, if you just go a little bit faster in every sector, you'll be on top, like that. And he was dead serious about that. Like that was his thing. And like still to this day, my wife, sometimes she'll be like, if you just go a little faster in every sector, you'll be fine. I'm like, sweet, thanks.
Yeah,
for
sweet,
that.
yeah. What do I think of that?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, while I'm thinking about it, I was going to actually ask you what your relationship was like with Steve, and obviously what you remember, and you obviously must have had a great time with them guys. There's a nice picture of you guys all together. I think that was winning the GP, wasn't it, in Turkey? Yeah, with Mikey there as well.
Turkey. Yep. Yeah, my relationship with Steve was always pretty solid. There were some times where, you know, we weren't on shaky ground as far as the team went, but like it was always just Steve's passion project. And at times he was, you know, struggling for money or struggling financially or whatever, but he always made it work. And I always tell people like the one thing about Steve is like, if I told Steve on Wednesday that I needed a pink fender for Saturday, you can bet whatever he needed to do, I was going to have a pink fender for Saturday if he felt like that was going to make the difference for me. And still to this day, he's the most passionate person about the sport that I've ever met. You know, it's his life, like flat out. I mean, sometimes he'll, you know, even now he'll call me and I'm like, Steve, it's 3:00 in the morning. What are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just at a workshop. And I was thinking about something. I'm like, Steve, go to sleep. Like, it's November. Nothing is happening. And you're sitting at the workshop. It's 3 a.m. Like, what are you doing? Like, just go home.
He proper loves it. He loves it.
Yeah, he loves it. I mean, you can't fault him for it. He loves racing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's a nice one here of you in Max, it looks like, in the GP, was that?
Yeah, that's Glen Helen in 2010. I don't remember that much.
Nice one,
we almost had a good battle. I think in the second moto, the Red Bull arch fell on his head or something. Maybe that was the year after. I don't remember. I think he was on Star that year. The arch deflated and they red flagged the race. Like 15 minutes into the race, it fell, and at that time it was still 35-minute motos, and we had to start over.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, it's something really weird like that.
That is weird, yeah.
That's Farley the day. That one, I don't
green
know.
Kit going there. Nice green kit.
Yeah, I loved that green kit. I wore it as much as I could. Steve didn't like it because it didn't match the bike very good, but I always liked it. Yeah, that's at my place in South Carolina. That was a fun winter. That's the same winter that we got ran over at Dade City. That's Ferry House, Irish GP, my first ever GP moto win.
That's a nice one there as well. Going back to that, I was going to say about, did you actually enjoy the GPs, the whole thing? Did you enjoy that? I know you obviously had a few race wins, didn't you? And obviously that GP win.
Yeah, I did. I mean, looking back, the only regret I have is that I didn't take more pictures and that I didn't go kind of off the beaten path more when I had the chance, you know. But at the same time, I couldn't really afford to do it. So it is what it is. Looking back, they were some of the most fun times of my life. And I didn't know it at the time, but the only thing that I needed to care about was racing, and it was just so simple, and it was a great time and something that I'll cherish until I die. It's kind of made me who I am today, as far as my independence and just the way I kind of think and operate. It's a huge part of me and who I am. I'm really bummed because we try to come back every couple of years. The last time we were back was 2017 for the Nations, and then obviously in 19 I did the Nations in Athens, so I still got to see some friends and stuff. But my family and I look forward to the day we can go back and go back to England and enjoy the British lifestyle.
Take it in a little bit more than the
Yeah.
rushing around you guys do.
Yeah.
I got an idea who this might be from. He's not registered the name on there, so you can't see the name and everything. But the most unfair question of the day: who has been your most favourite spanner man? I got a good idea who this might be.
From Ben or Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey could be, or Ben. Yeah,
Mikey or Ben. It's hard to pick a favorite because everybody that I've ever worked with has just such a different style and such a different way of doing things. One of the guys who worked for me while I was at Steve's was Nick. And Nick, the year I came there, he was working in the shop. He originally was a bartender at TGI's, like just a kind of a all over the place kind of guy, and but super solid, super down to earth. And he was from Australia, like just kind of a cool story, like mine at the time. And in 2010, he decided he wanted to be a mechanic because Mikey had left and Ben was working for Mel. So Nico stepped in, and we had a lot of fun. It was a lot of pressure on him, and he did a really good job, like kind of managing the stress. And but I remember one time specifically that always sticks out to me. And we were at the second GP of the year in Mantova, and I think I went 4-5 or 5-4 on the day. Solid GP, good result. And the boys were taking up the flooring, and Nick was laying on the ground, like just smoked. And he was like, "Man, I can't believe this is only the second GP. There's no possible way that I'm going to make it to the end." And we were all laughing at him and stuff. But that same weekend, we went out in the free practice and everything was good. Well, we got 20 minutes before the time practice, and Steve decided he wanted to change cams. And we're like, that's not going to happen in 20 minutes. You're not going to do that. So I remember just sitting there in my gear, and the bikes are going around. Maybe I missed 15 minutes of the time practice because Steve wanted to change cams 20 minutes before the practice. It was mental, but just little things like that stick out with you with every guy. I had a great time with Mikey, Zane, Ben, my mechanic now, Dave. We have a long-standing relationship. It's just you find the positives and the fun in every person you work with. And when you have a group of guys like what we had there at Steve's in 2009, 10, 11, 12, it's so fun to go racing because everybody's just, it's like a synergy of people and everybody's there for the same goal. And it was an amazing time.
I've got one here. No one's registered their name here, but they put hi Lee and hi Zach. What was going through your mind when you got that flat in the outdoors when you missed the pit crew telling you to come in?
It was pretty mind numbing, actually. It was kind of everything was really on point to that point. It had gone pretty much flawlessly, and I had a good gap, 35 points, I think, and there were some good races, WW and Colorado coming up for me to be able to go into the last round, no major hitches, and be able to just kind of cruise it on in. But that wasn't the way God intended it. There's always a little bit of fight, and it actually set me up for that WW 1-1 really well, and put me in a good place to do that. And I think that kind of changed the face of me winning the championship. Whereas, if I would have cruised it on in and just taken thirds and fourths and fifths to get the championship, it wouldn't have been nearly as solidified, I guess you would say. Whereas by, coming back from that whole thing, going the next weekend and going 1-1, making 20 points or whatever it was on the next guy was pretty huge for me.
Cool. Got James Stenner here. He's put, hi, Zach. My son, Monty, says hi.
What's up, dude?
There you go. There you go, Monty. There's a hi there from Zach, your hero, I'm sure. Lee Britton here has put, Zach, do you speak to Brad Anderson after your crash with him at the British? I'm sure he landed on the back of you. Can you explain what happened?
Yeah, I speak to him. He's cool, actually. He hits me up a lot on Instagram, and we're at Mallory Park, and at that time you came down the finish line, like there was like two big tabletops and then a small finish line tabletop into a left-hander, and we were there for a KWS. It was like the weekend before the first GP, and I was riding both classes on my 250. I just did it as kind of a warm-up race. Well, I pulled the whole shot in the first race, and we were first and second, and he jumped the finish line tabletop and like kind of looped out and then whiskeyed down the backside. And I had gone outside, so he was coming like straight T-bone on me. And I heard him coming, luckily, and kind of like veered away from it, but he smoked me. And we went like over the berm, and there was a sea container there for like the timing and scoring. I think he hit the sea container, and like I was pissed because I'm just there to race and kind of make some money and go to the GPs, you know, and he blasted me. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I never meant to do that. I had gnarly arm pump, just got off the back, down the backside and whiskeyed and just, yeah, I smoked you, but I'm sorry. But yeah, we've laughed about it a couple times since then. It's quite funny.
Love that. A couple of the guys mentioned about the Toby Carvery, but I think that might have been Steve Dixon. If that is Steve, obviously, hopefully he's heard that about the Toby Carvery anyway, and Nathan's mentioned it as well. So hopefully you got that in there. Callum
There's
Hurst here.
That I found at the end of my. What was the name of that place? I want to say like the Harvester.
Yes. Yeah, there's a Harvester.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's the same sort of thing. You could have
those food. We were like, oh yeah, this is also awesome.
Love that. Callum Hurst here put, do you think racing the MXGP helped you before you went back to the AMA?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it kind of molded me into the person and the rider that I am today. You know, oftentimes I remember those cold, heavy days in Lommel, or you know, just trying to find a place to ride in Europe often was tough in the wintertime. So it's one of those things you look back and, like I said, that my biggest regret is that I didn't take more pictures. So I think it really did help me.
Yep. I got Ian put, do you still stay in touch with Jason Dugan? We don't hear much about him these days.
Yeah, I do. He owns a barbershop.
Okay.
I want to say it's kind of near Bristol. He lives over there now. And yeah, I speak to him quite often, maybe once a month or so.
Okay, cool. There you go, Ian. There goes Nathan Pritchard. I was waiting for one of these shirt requests. Well, Zach does trades, look, Nathan. So I know Nathan's got a lot as well. So depends what you got, buddy. Hey, Zach, I'm trying to track down one of your MXGP shirts. You got any spare? Depends what your trade is, Nathan.
I don't know if I have any spares. I know that I have one from each year, but I don't know if I have much to spare, to be honest with you. There's some floating around out there, though.
Is there? Yeah, there must be. Well, we know there is. Oh yeah, I thought this might come up as well. So basically, just to fill you in what happened, I spoke to Ricky Johnson on Friday night. I had a really cool one with Ricky Johnson, and someone's just put here, look, would you take advice from RJ or any of the top riders of that era?
That's a hard one. You know, I think that the sport's changed so much since that era. And I mean, obviously, like the fundamentals and the basics of the sport are the same, but at the same time, the mental side, the training side, the bikes especially, I mean, of course, the technology and everything that we have now has changed so much from that time that it would be hard for someone like that from that 80s era. I think, like, you know, early 2000s, 2010, guys like Chad or Burner or Ricky, those types of guys, it would be pretty easy. But I think it would be hard, not like any lack of respect or anything, but I think it would be hard for them to kind of transition their knowledge into what it is today. Like if I cold called RJ and said, hey, I really would like for you to come watch me ride and see how it goes, I think it would be tough for them to really kind of translate into that right off the bat.
I'm glad you said that, because that's interesting, because I think a lot of people were taking it as a bit of a lack of respect thing. Like, it was just mentioned that Dean Wilson didn't take any the offer of help from RJ or something, and his father wanted him to, or something like that. So yeah, it's good that you put that over. That was good that you explained that over. So that sort of
and it's not like, I mean, of course, if he came to me and said, "Hey, look, I've got 3 things that you can work on that are going to make you better," I'm going to be like, "Let's talk," But I don't think that I would kind of seek that out if you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm glad you explained that. That was cool. Right. What's this? Reeves Walker's put, ask him what the toughest motor in the Grand Prix was, or a Supercross main.
The toughest moto I ever had in a GP was the first race I ever did at Lommel, first GP for Steve. My bike broke in the first moto. The second moto, I got 8th in the moto, but it was the toughest 8th of my life. Like, I was hanging on by a thread. I was not using any sort of technique. I was just bashing bumps for 40 minutes. And at the time, like I said earlier, I was kind of off of a fresh injury, and my Supercross season was scrapped that year. My motocross season was scrapped, so I didn't really have that much like riding time or training time. And it showed there.
I got Matt Lowy has put, Ricky Priest, Zach's looking for a Z50. You have a garage full of them. Here we go. Look, started.
Yeah. But if you find that Christmas edition, let me know.
Yeah, see, look, here we go. It's already started in motion. We're on the seek for you. Hi, Zach. Can you remember racing at a local meeting for Jest? Is that how you say?
Guest.
Guest, yeah.
No, I did some practice days at Ringmer, but I don't know if I did any guest races. I don't think. Maybe.
Got another one here from Wayne Davis has put, I remember Zach doing a day in the dirt at Apex, Worcester. I think it was 2009. He was flying around there. Yeah,
I went to Apex quite a few times. Obviously, I lived in the South, so it was quite a hike for us, but I went there quite a few times. Day in the dirt, that doesn't really stick out. I think I did a Race FX ride day there one time. That was pretty sick.
Also got, what did you think of Cadder's Hill, Ling?
Ling's a great track, another great British track, like very old school, very traditional. I always rode well there, so that helps your kind of perception of a track. But yeah, I loved Ling. It was another one that I looked forward to every year. It just always was that gnarly rough, and it seemed to get more and more sandy every year we went there.
I got Zuma 46 here on YouTube. Hi, Zach. Well done on winning the 2020 outdoor title. Was great seeing you as an honorary Brit winning the title. But what was his take on the Blake Baggett situation not riding this year from Anthony Mitchell?
I don't know. There's a lot of speculation or whatever. I know Blake quite well. I haven't spoken to him in quite a while, but I don't know. I think he was ready for something different, and maybe there was some issues with the team or whatever. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, that stuff happens pretty often, unfortunately.
Yep. Someone else has just wrote, no name on it. Remember when you knocked Jake Nichols off at Ling?
I don't remember that. Maybe though. Jake's a good dude. We would say we were we didn't have bad blood when I raced there, but we were kind of rivals in the British Championship. But I've spoken to him quite a bit on Instagram, and we're cool now. But at the time, it was so big for both of us. That moment and what we were doing was so big that it caused some tension.
Yeah, everyone always ends up banging bars, don't we, when it gets competitive? Yeah. It's just the way it is. Andrew Spender has put, hi, Zach. Being defending champion for the AMA Outdoors this year, has your strategy for the season now changed? What's your mindset to beat a stacked class and retain the championship?
Well, obviously, the first thing is going to be to get healthy with my back and not have that kind of nagging me or plaguing me all year. I think my strategy is going to be the same. I have to come out swinging, kind of defend my position as the champion, and I think that we can do it again. You know, I'm going to start the season with basically the same bike that I had last year, which I know was really good and was something I was comfortable on. That's one maybe mistake that I made this year for Supercross is I went away from my base setting from last year, and I feel that it's affected my starts kind of negatively. So I'm going to just start the season with the same bike and kind of hope for the best, but train to make it happen.
Andy Statham has put, in the outdoors, obviously you're going to defend your number one plate with AC so close. Do you think he will be your closest rival again? And how do you think Max Anstey is getting on so far?
I think AC is going to be good. The dude's fast, right? He's always going to be there. He's really solid. He's young. He's ambitious, and he's not afraid to send it. So yeah, I think AC is going to be one of the biggest rivals. I'm not sure. You know, it depends on which Eli we get. You know, he's one of the fastest dudes in the world, but last year he just was kind of lethargic after the DNF. So also Kenny will be healthy this season. There's a lot of guys who can, you know, give me a run to take it away, but I'm going to do my very best to keep it.
Nathan Petrov put, cheers Lee, I had to try. I've got some good trades, wink. So
okay.
You'll have to try and get hold of Zach on Instagram or something and show him some pictures and see what you've got, Nathan, and go from there.
Yeah.
Lee Britton put, Zach, what is it like to sign tops for people of goodness and then for them to go and make money out of you?
I mean, it's it's not it's not that awesome, but it is what it is. You know, if they can sleep at night, so can I.
There you go. That's that sold. That threw me, that one.
No, right, I mean, it happens all the time, right? It's part of it. I see, like, you know, posters on Instagram here, like how could you ever control that? So I just try to pick and choose who I give them to, and if they choose to get rid of them, then that's on them.
What riders did you used to look up and idolize when you were young then, Zach? Who were the riders that you sort of, look through the magazines and see them at the races or whatever?
Well, I grew up around Brownie. He was from the town kind of over next to me, about 20 minutes away. And I grew up just riding with him a lot and being around him a lot. And he was kind of like the benchmark for me, right? In my area, he was the guy, like he was the best rider to ever come from there. And, like the local hero for sure, you know, won a national title, which was huge. And so him and probably Andrew Short as well. Andrew was just always a really good guy. And, you know, he was always prepared. And that was something that was important to me, like that he just always seemed so solid. You know, there was never like these huge ups and downs. It was just always pretty straightforward, you know, that you kind of knew the Andrew Short you were going to get. So Brownie and Shorty were huge kind of influences on my career.
Love to get Mike Brown on, actually. I'd love to try and get hold of him. I remember him coming over. He was like similar to you, come over to the British Championship. I remember him on the old Cat Honda and that and the Thorpe team. And he was he
actually works for Alden where I train. So if you want me to get it.
Yeah, I'll get hold of that. Thanks, Zach. I'll message you about that and we'll go from there with that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, no problem.
Someone's put, have you ever tried a super bike on the road?
No, it's something that I would really like to try. I would love to, actually. I always kind of wanted to do a track day when I was there in Britain, because that's something we don't really have here where you can go and do that. But I just have never really had the opportunity. We recently got a flat track built at our facility, so that's something I'm kind of keen to try out as well as a little bit of flat track. But yeah, no, I never anything, not even really any supermoto either, which you know, like motorcycle or dirt bike on pavement or whatever. Nothing.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
That goes on nicely to this. Someone's put, have you rode a speedway or flat track bike? Not yet.
I rode a flat track bike last year at our track. We had like a little TT course, and I rode a flat track bike on that, and it was more fun than I anticipated. So that's what kind of inspired me to get
the track.
Yeah. For this flat, you know, it's an oval, so it's a little different, but I definitely want to give it a test and see how it goes.
Have you seen much of the speedway, any of the GPs in the speedway? And obviously, a lot of Americans.
We went to some speedway on Isle of Wight.
It's a
short boat trip across from Portsmouth. So
Yep.
we would go over there every now and then and check it out. And it's crazy, but I don't know if I could. I mean, I like in my mind, I don't know that I could do the skill, like just hold it in there and just like I don't know.
No
I would
breaks.
know where to start to get it to slide. So it does interest me, but I would definitely need some serious coaching to get things going.
Yeah, you like giving it the full beans, so I think you'd be good, mate.
Yeah.
You'd be good for that. You'd be good. Someone's put here, has having kids had an impact on your career? Does it help motivate you for training and during race weekends? Interesting.
It has had an impact on my career. I never really won anything until I had a kid, my first child. And, it's just brought a lot of balance to my life and kind of shown me that there's more to life than just racing. And on those bad days, there's, you can go home and your kids are still going to love you. Your wife's still going to love you. And there's more to it than just those, than just the racing,
Yeah. Do you put, obviously you've, over the years, obviously, even when I saw your results when you went back over to the AMA, obviously you did wow, and you got closer and closer towards getting towards the championships. You obviously put a hell of a lot of work and dedication in to that to get to that point, obviously. So you must be quite proud of that, the achievements you've had and worked that hard.
Yeah, it is nice to have something to hang your hat on, like to race your whole life and not really, and to have not had those accomplishments wouldn't be nearly as fun, right? So for me, it's the work, the ratio is 1-to-1. Like the work I put in, that's the results I get out. And for some other guys, it's a little bit less. They can rely on their talent a little bit more or whatever, their case is. But for me, I just know that the work that I put in, it's going to come back, and it'll all pay off in the end.
And then these pictures never get old.
Yeah. That's Unadilla 17. That's Bud's Creek 17. Yeah. That was a muddy mess, dude. I thought they were actually going to cancel.
There, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
These are nice. Gotta love all these. That
was actually a major anticlimax, that 250 Supercross Championship, because, I'd obviously won the one the year prior in the most unlikely of fashions, and then the second one, it was just like I got 7th in the race. I won by 10 points or something, and I just kind of took the ride it out road, and I don't know, it wasn't really my style. I always kind of felt like I should have just really went for it and won the race and not taken just taking whatever came to me.
Some nice pictures there.
Nice. That looks like Hangtown, maybe. First, Hangtown.
I like all your got some nice passionate sort of celebrations. You always give a
Yeah, it means a lot to me. I think it's easy to become, I don't want to say jaded, but like you're already thinking about the next week of training, or you're already thinking about the pressure for the next week of racing, or whatever the next thing is. It's easy to get lost in that, especially with the pressures that come with it all. And so for me, like when I cross the finish line with the win, that's the ultimate. It's the pinnacle of all of my training, all of my hard work coming together. And I kind of let that happen a little bit this summer, where the pressure was just so much that I almost let it overcome me at times. And I'm trying to do a better job managing that and just kind of enjoying the process and enjoying everything that goes with it a little bit more. But it's definitely at times it's so much pressure, and it's so hard to just enjoy it, just truly go out there and just remember that you're getting to ride your dirt bike for a living, doing what you love, and that's the position that everybody dreams of being in and would kill to be in. So it's all about perspective.
I spotted these pictures. I didn't realize you done any of this as well. I saw these.
Yeah, that's from 6 days in Sardinia. That's actually my teammate Craig, but
Was
I
it?
did. Yeah, I wore the same
Sorry about
exact
that.
gear and everything that day. So no,
That's fine.
it's all good.
Trick me out there.
Yeah, tripped you up. Yeah, that was 6 days in Sardinia. That was the first time the Americans had been on the podium in 20-something years. Pretty legendary team with Brownie and Charlie, myself,
pretty cool with
Kurt.
Brownie there as well. That must have been cool for you.
Yeah, it's awesome. And that's one crazy thing about my career is how much I've ended up around Brownie and like how closely our careers kind of mirror each other. Being that he was like kind of one of my idols when I was young and being around him so much when I was a kid.
Very cool. That is very cool. What was this KTM like then?
It was good. It was fast. Obviously, at that time, it was still the PDS suspension, and we struggled a little bit in some Supercross. But I got 2 podiums that year, but they were the Canadian rounds, so they didn't really count. But that's Vancouver, I believe, in 2000, into 2006.
What about on the Honda?
The Honda. What can you say? I mean, the results weren't great. They weren't terrible. Had a couple of little injuries that kind of set me back in 14. The bike was a lot better in 14. 13, we struggled just with settings and probably me putting a little too much pressure on myself and expecting a little bit too much of myself. You know, we had such a good little blissful 4-race stint there with Steve and Ben and the boys in 2012 on a privateer bike that, you know, Steve cooked up and that we just kind of raced out of my van. And then, you know, to go to a team like Geico Honda, it was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll just go win the championship, you know, but there was a lot to learn. And it just kind of never blossomed. You know, I always look back and think that maybe it was because I was so used to the team dynamic that I had with Steve, and that was what really rekindled my flame to race again. And because I was pretty over it once, right before I went to Europe and kind of refound the love for racing. I was just burnt out and really in no position to keep racing because I didn't have a ride and I wasn't really making any money. And it was kind of time for the rubber to meet the road. But fortunately, I found Steve and the boys, and we had a great time. And then when I went to Geico, it was very like corporate and very, I don't know, like just not my style. Like I felt like really uncomfortable all the time. I felt like I was trying to prove myself, and it was just not a healthy environment for me. I just was always searching for comfort and people like what I had, you know, and it just wasn't on the cards.
Okay, got a picture there. Is that you there?
Yeah, I don't know what that strap is.
Yeah, I was just spotted that. What was that bike like?
That bike was not that great. It was just not very fast. Yeah, it was just not very fast. And like I said, I was hurt pretty much that whole season until I went to Europe. I broke my scapula at the first Supercross, which was a massive injury. It ended up being like 10-week deal that, you know, when I broke it, I thought it should have been like 3 weeks. And that was just a long recovery. And then I did like 2 Supercrosses. And then once I got well, I crashed at the first outdoor, broke my wrist, and that was season done, basically. You know, it was over. And then, like I said earlier, I cut my cast off and went to see Steve.
Fair play.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, exactly. Cut it off. Let's go to Europe, like you do. What has been your actual favourite bike then? If you had to pick a favourite bike so far, obviously you've got some amazing Huskies that you've been riding over these title wins.
Yeah, my 17 Husky was unreal. It just was like the perfect balance. I mean, everything was just spot on for what I wanted and what I was looking for in a bike. So that's definitely top of my list. Second would probably be my Cosworth Yamaha in the 2012 year. It was so good, and we just had like a really good race package, you know, that we could go and put on the GP podium put on a Supercross podium. Like it was a good bike, Also, like the 250 from 16, 17, and 18 was all really, really close to the same. So I rode that setting for 3 years, basically with just some minor clicker changes and some minor updates here and there. But those 3 years of that bike were really, really awesome. When you find something like that where you don't even have to think about the bike, you just are, kind of commanding from the back or whatever, I guess you'd say, it's so easy to ride, and it's so much fun.
On the favorite number wise, obviously you've run that 338 over here, and then we've seen you obviously now racing the 16. Did you have any particulars with numbers? Anything that there's a reason you like numbers or anything like that?
Yeah, 38 was my first number as a kid, and then when I went to my first like amateur national race here, I had to get 338, and then whenever I turned pro, Lawrence had 338, so I had to take 168.
Yeah, I remember.
And then when I went to Europe, I had the chance to take 338 back, which was my number for my whole life until those 2 years of racing pro. So I love 338. Just kind of my number, it is what it is, but we're not allowed to have 3-digit numbers once you score a national number here. So the first year that I came back, I scored actually a permanent number, which I chose 16, and I love 16. It's, it's my number now, but it's not 338. Like that's kind of my real number. And likely when I'm retired and I start riding for fun, I'll run 338 again. I had the chance to take a single twice now for winning the outdoor title, and I chose not to both times. It was a really hard decision this second time, like at the end of the 450 season, just because singles are so kind of heralded in our sport, So I was really, really, really close to taking 8, but I chose against it. Kept 16 because that's kind of my trademark now, and where all my accomplishments have come. And I just felt like, stick it out with 16.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Got Mark Rowe here. Another memory here. He's put. I remember Zach going by me in a corner at Tony Martin maybe years ago at a practice day. I was like, "Who the hell is that?" Made me jump. He was so fast. He didn't even seem to need a rut.
I rode Tony Moto so much when I first went there, and it was great. It was fun. I loved it, and it was always kind of prepped, and it was just a really good track. So yeah, I love that place.
And I just see Dave's question come up, so that answered that for you, Dave, as well, about Tony Moto there.
Yeah.
Sounds like you give Mark a bit of a head shake there when you went past.
Yeah. Speed wobble.
That's it. Ben Rumbold here has put, hi, Zach. One of my favourite videos is from the 2019 Nations when you could see how much the event means to you, and even DaCosta had tears on camera. What do you think of the other top Americans won't make the sacrifices or effort to ride it? Thanks from Ben Motocross Words.
It's tough. We have a long season here, and I know the GP season's long, but it's just a very different load with travel and all the things. And when it's a month after the season, it's a big ask. I mean, flat out, it's hard. It's hard. It was hard for me in 2017. I was really fortunate to have been able to go to Mel Pocock's house and bring my family and just have fun, ride with the boys like I used to. And that was a really good time for me. But Assen was tough. Assen was hard. The weather wasn't great leading up to the race. We had, 4-week period in Belgium after already having been going for 10 months on our own season. And it's just hard, man, to commit to another 4 weeks of flat out grinding. And also you're not getting those gate drops and that racecraft and those motos at the weekend. It makes it even tougher to just like keep your weight down. And, there's so many factors that go into going to a foreign country and performing at 100% of that. It's hard to commit. I'm going to do it 10 out of 10 times that I get asked, but it's different for me. So I understand why they don't.
It's been good to get your perspective on it, actually, on a few things, on the taking advice from the older legends and on that as well, the M8 Nation. So that's cool that you've put that across. So that sort of gives these
Yeah.
guys good at
Yeah.
good
I
front.
think people kind of underestimate what it really takes to do the event properly. And
Yeah.
that's why people are like, oh, why wouldn't you do it or whatever? And I mean, I get it from both sides. I get it from their side because I know how hard it is on the other side, which is kind of my side, like where I would do it under most circumstances. So, I understand where they're coming from.
It's good to hear that, though.
But this year, I think we only have one weekend off between, or maybe 2 weekends off. So it's not quite as bad. I think maybe more people will be keen to do it.
It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Someone's put, has Valentino Rossi or Colin Edwards invited you to their ranches?
Nope. I wish. Like I said, I'd love to do some sliding and some road race type stuff. It's something that I've never ever done anything of. So I would love to.
Yep. Got Rick Davis here. He's put, say a massive hello to Zach from his biggest British fans from Chuck and Rick Davis.
Yeah, boys.
Chuck's with the 90s motocross.
Chuck has some sick bikes.
Sick stuff, mental stuff, isn't it? He does all those bikes. It's unbelievable. Yeah, he's got the best bikes, Evo, that's for sure, without a shadow of a doubt there. Someone's put, would you try the beach racing?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to try the 2K or Weston or any of those, yeah.
Wayne Davis here on YouTube, but what's it like working in the Baker camp?
It's good. It's hard days, long days with the best guys, some of the best guys in the world. And the caliber and the level is always high. So you never want to be the slowest guy. No one ever wants to be that guy. So it's always just lifting the level, always, every day. Hard.
Yeah. Just see Tom Cumbers wrote that, so hopefully that's cleared that for you as well on the Motocross the Nations there, Tom. I think Zach just pretty much confirmed how much it meant to him and explained the other side of the coin from the other guys as well. Someone's put, what did you think of Ryan Villopoto's GP effort? Was it too late in his career or more Kawasaki wanting it?
I'm not sure why he did it. It didn't go great, obviously, but it's just a hard thing to be at the level that he was at here, and then kind of not throw it all away, but just kind of set all that down and be like, I'm going to go race 1 year in Europe and then I'm done. It's really tough to kind of mesh all those moving parts, if you will. And I mean, he's one of the fastest to ever race, in my opinion. So it was not from lack of talent or ability. Maybe the prep wasn't that good, or he wasn't getting on with the team that great. There's a million different reasons or rumors that you hear why it didn't go well, but I don't know.
That's interesting. Dietmar Muller here. I'll hang a neck out and say he's German. Hi, Zach. What is the best and most challenging motocross track you've ever ridden on? Have you been to Namur?
I've not. I missed that. I think the last year that they did it was 2007, the year before I came. I mean, it's epic. I would love to have raced there. I think it would have been so sick. The most challenging track I've ever ridden, I mean, all the sand tracks in the GPs, like Lamo, Lierop, even Valkenswaard at times is tough. Like that was the most unnatural thing for me, trying to ride those tracks at the proper technique and the proper speed was just a little bit outside my range. So all those sand tracks, I worked really hard to get to a level where I was sort of competitive. Like a top 5 was a good result for me. And I think the best moto I ever had was in 2012 at Lierop in the sand. I got 3rd in the heat race, but Jeffrey had fallen in the first turn and he won the heat race. So I think Glenn Coldenhoff was 2nd, but that was like, hey, that was pretty good. Like, couple of years ago, I would have paid for that result.
Yeah,
So
exactly that. Yeah,
the sand tracks of Europe are definitely special.
Someone's put, do you think Max Anstey would do better on a different bike as the Suzuki is dated now?
I'm not sure. I think Max is doing pretty well. His outdoor riding last year was really good. Like, he was in the mix there at the end, really kind of right where he needed to be. So I think he's on a pretty solid little program for his level right now. Like, there's not a ton of pressure to him, I don't think. And he can kind of build into it. And I think Max has a lot of potential. He's still pretty young. Like, he can build into being on a better team at a later date. But I think he's coming around and doing quite good.
Someone just put on YouTube that they've saw one of those Cosworth bikes on eBay recently.
Yeah, I saw that. Someone sent it to me and was like, "Hey, you should buy this so you have one for your collection." And I'm like, "I already got one for my collection." Yeah, someone showed it to me. I don't remember who sent it to me now, but it was quite cheap actually. It had all the covers and stuff. I'm sure it doesn't have the good stuff inside, or maybe it does. I really don't know.
Maybe not. I wouldn't have thought so.
But it had like the ignition cover and the clutch cover and all the trick bits that we ran in. So it's pretty legit.
Yeah, look cool. Adam Winslet, who does the interviews on Farley Castle via MX, he's just put MX is a big family. He's put the Road to Recovery thing there. Look, for people to see. That's cool. What's Tom Cumber on about? He's put, did anyone ever find out who dented Olden's fridge?
I'm pretty sure I know, but I'm not about to rat anyone out on this.
Yeah. That's good. Keep it in house. Someone's put, when does he think the dreaded electric bikes will take over, and is he interested in this?
Not really. And I really don't think that they're going to take over. I think there's going to be like a niche market for it, but I don't think that it's ever going to replace the kind of modern 4-stroke bike.
Yeah, hopefully not. Anyway,
I mean, we would have said the same thing in 1999 about 4-strokes. So here we are.
I remember me and my brother stood up at Foxhill seeing a great then Perry Lease on a 4-stroke, to thinking like, what the hell is that doing? I think we were pretty much laughing at it as well, to be fair.
Yeah,
literally laughing. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Doug Emery was on one, and then it all snowballed. But
yeah,
who did you enjoy racing with the most, Zach? Like, obviously you've got a lot of rivals you've had, but who do you enjoy racing with the most?
I love racing Coop. He's just such a hard racer, and quite a good friend now as well. And he's one of the few people that I know that I feel like are just willing to do whatever it takes, like myself, to win. So racing him is fun. I love racing AC because we're so different in styles and like where we're at in life, and it's quite the contrast that we can, I can do this way and he can do this way. He's this tall, I'm this tall. There's so many different pieces to what makes us both tick, and then we go out there and we battle, and there's a mutual respect. I respect him for his speed and all that he is, and I think he respects me mutually, so I love racing AC. I actually love racing Barsha too. A lot of people tell me I'm an idiot, but like he's one of the few guys that what he's going to do. He's going to blast you every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you're gonna have to cut back
a lot of guys will be like, "Oh, he's not going to blast me," and then just get smoked. So but he's consistent. Like, he's going to hit you every time, and I respect that. Like, I'm totally good with that. We can race that way. I can race that way too. Like, there's no problem. So those three are like kind of really stick out to me.
Okay, cool. You've obviously had a lot of cool race gear that you've wore over the years and everything. Have you had a favorite set of gear that you like, or?
I always end up with like the red boots, right? So that's just kind of become my thing over the past couple years. That's what started it. Those started it. That looks like the New Jersey race I was talking about earlier from 2017. I'm pretty sure it is. I loved that gear set there. I loved, there was one race we did at Mallory Park in 2009 where we had a full yellow livery. had a helmet, yellow UFO kit, yellow bike. That was really cool. Our 2012 kit was really cool. The 2008 stuff that when I very first got to Steve's team with the Cinesalo and everything just matched perfectly head to toe. That was really cool. I loved all of Steve's stuff because it always was just so, it all matched so well and it all like seemed to go together. Whereas now it's just so many logos and so much things that need to be on the gear that it makes it a little bit hard. But I always enjoyed Steve's kits and just kind of how well they were put together.
Obviously, you guys part and parcel all the time, as we know. Even now, look, recovering from a back injury. Have you had like specific big injuries over your career that you had said that have maybe held you back from even achieving even more in that certain stages of your career?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's always holding you back, but also there's time for reflection. Like last year, in 2020, I broke my back pretty bad. Broke 5 vertebrae, T4 and 5, and then 8, 9, and 10. There were 2 that were like 50% loss of height, so they crushed kind of in half. And I was really fortunate to not have to have any sort of surgery or be out for any longer. I was out for like 8 weeks, and I've had no issues in that sort of part of my spine since then. And that was a time I was really, really close to retiring. Like I was just over it. Once I started riding again, I couldn't find the mojo. It wasn't that I was scared. It was just like, I just was not in the right headspace. And I was not even going to go to Salt Lake. Like I was riding so bad and just so far off of like that supreme easy feeling that I kind of work for. And my wife was like, look, let's just go see how it goes. It'll be a change of scenery. You love the mountains. We can go to Park City on the days off, and it'll be good for us all. Like, even if you don't race, we'll just stay there and hang out and just be in the mountains for a little while and have a change of pace from being here in Florida. So I was like, all right, so we'll go. So we got there, and like the magic happened, like I didn't finish out at the top 5. I think I had 3 podiums and a win. And, it was just a really fun time. Like my family was there the whole time. We had a good time. We stayed at a campground, roasted s'mores, rode bicycles, did all the things. And it kind of just rejuvenated me. And, I just found the joy in it again. And I kind of rolled that whole momentum and that, mindset into the outdoors and was able to win that title. So, injuries suck, obviously, but also there's kind of silver linings to every one of them if you can find them. It gives you some time for reflection and perspective, and trying to, you're always trying to reinvent, right? You're trying to keep up with the times and keep yourself relevant and change your style and just improve. That's part of being a professional athlete, is just the ever revolving wheel of trying to not be at the bottom of the wheel, trying to be at the top, so it's just one of those things where injuries suck, but also they give you, you can make the best out of it. Another one was 2012 after the Supercross series. We were riding at Fat Cat one day, and my bike blew up on a big tabletop, and I crashed, and like I endoed into the next tabletop, which was gnarly. I was knocked out for a while, and broke my collarbone pretty bad, ripped off some tendons and muscles that had to be put back. And like I said earlier, it cost me most of the GP season. I don't think I came back until like 7 or 8 rounds in. But after that, I think I got 4 or 5 podiums, nearly won the GP and push and tall. I think, actually Tommy won that day. And he posted a picture about it that a few weeks ago, and I was like, hey, that was my day. You stole it. And he was like, no, that was my last win. Like, it was, So there's been some big ones. I've been really fortunate to not have too many major surgeries or issues, and I'm grateful for that. But there's been some tough times.
I've got a YouTube here. Jamie Robert has put big respect to Zach. Showed balls of steel at last MX of Nations, pure grit.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad I showed something. I felt like I showed a big hole in my in my armor because I was so far off the pace. But man, it was tough conditions, tough going. I mean, having experienced it once now, I would like to think that I could be better the next time that we went to Assen. But it's a strange place, like as far as the riding conditions go.
Yeah. Dan Merrifield put, who would you want to win the Supercross title if you wasn't able to?
That's hard, like always a teammate or training partner or someone that I'm around a lot. So yeah, probably one of those guys.
Because Chris even went on to say put $100 on who's going to be the winner.
I don't know if I mean, it's tough. I think right now Coop has the momentum, and obviously he has Kenny a little bit mentally in the corner. So we'll see. I think these next 3 races in Dallas this weekend and Tuesday and next weekend is going to really kind of tell the series. I think there's going to be a big hole opened up one way or the other.
I think your race was very cool that I seen. I'm not sure which round it was now. The one you pretty much, was it you hit the gate or come off at the gate? I can't remember. You hit
the gate. That was the first Indy. I hit the gate 5th. I really had a good chance at a podium until like 5 or 6 laps to go. I had caught back to the back of Coop, and Adam was right in front of him, and I got just behind a lapper at the wrong spot, and it cost me like 4 bike lengths, and that allowed Coop to pass Adam before I could pass him, and it just kind of unraveled in front of me. But yeah, it was really close. That was by far my best ride of the season. My starts were, such a strong point for me last year, and really helped me to win the outdoor title. And this year my starts have been terrible, and that one was really bad.
Yeah, because I was talking to Mikey, and when we said about after that round, I said, well, he's obviously showed, you must have got confidence from that, your pace, because bearing in mind everyone was literally on the same milliseconds pretty much all the way through that, and then you've done from all that way back to there, you think to yourself, wow.
Yeah, no, it was a great ride. It was one of the better rides of my 450 Supercross career, honestly. Like, not many people do that. It doesn't happen very often where, I mean, most people don't get stuck in the gate, let's be honest. But to come from the back like that it was a really good ride.
Yeah. Someone's put, would you have liked to race a YZM 500 or a factory Honda for the 80s?
I've never ridden a 500, Cowie, Honda, Yamaha, nothing. And that's something, I'm going to have to do someday. But yeah, it was a unique era. I think those boys were next level as far as strength and conditioning went. I think they were unbelievable. But I would love to give one a rip.
Someone's put, does he think Hurlins could win an AMA title, I presume that means, in his first season if he did it? Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes it's a game of runs. I think if he came here, he had a good outing at the first round and was in a good place as far as the bike and stuff went. The bike that they ride there is so different to the bike that we ride here. But he proved that he can do it already. So, I mean, I think that he would be an instant contender. The moment that he signed up, he would be on the cards for possibly winning.
What other sports do you like watching or even doing, Zach, other than obviously your normal?
I love cycling. That's it's obviously one of my big forms of training, but I love cycling, as a hobby as well. I like to fish. My little boy is super into fishing, so I enjoy going fishing with him. I love to play golf, and I actually love to watch biathlon. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like skiing, cross-country skiing and shooting. So I love that sport for some reason. I don't know why. I've just kind of found a love for it, and I think it's super interesting. And actually, I'm sure you've seen on my Instagram, but I do a bit of cross-country skating, and I have a sick biathlon gun that I bought. That was like kind of my gift to myself for my Supercross win last year. So I have a sick rifle that I shoot with sometimes, and it's something I really enjoy. Like I said, even to watch, it's just such a cool sport.
Yeah, very cool. It's very skilled, and the fitness involved is massive. Dave
Yeah,
Kinney has come on. He's put, Zach, tell us what bike you're building for the VMX donations.
yeah. I really would like to build like a 99 Husky 125 for the Evo class, 125 Evo class. That's kind of my goal. But there's legit none left here in America. I don't think they must have like gathered them up and put them all in one crusher at one time or something. So it's looking like I'm going to have
over there, is it? Yeah.
source one from somewhere else. But
Europe, yeah.
yeah, I would love to have like an Evo 125 Husky, and or something even before that. I don't really know. I just like that 125 era. I think it's really cool, and they're still like kind of modern for the most part. They're definitely not what they are today, but you could still ride it and have fun and trust it and enjoy it.
He's gone back on and put 96. This is the newest allowed at the VMX.
Okay, well, I guess I'm building a 96 then. I don't even know what a 96 looks like. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Maybe we should hook up Chico Chodi. He'd have some Huskies, wouldn't he, from that time?
Right, but see, that's like the 98, 99, 2000 era.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's true. So now he's going 96. Like,
yeah, that's old, Dave. Come on.
I'm trying to think who else was on them. Ricci was on them, and then
Federici,
well. Yeah. I'm not sure with that 97.
It's a little bit the same.
Same sort of era with Chico, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not sure before that. Interesting. There's plenty about though with these ones.
Are there?
Surprised what these people that watch these things, Zach. You could be getting some messages after this.
Yeah, I'll be happy to. Honestly, I mean, I scour eBay often for this kind of stuff, and like I said, that's also another hobby of mine is restoring stuff. I love to redo old stuff in my little collection that I was talking about earlier. I have some Honda mini trails and some other stuff that eventually I'll restore when I retire. Have some
Hopefully,
more time.
Dave will be able to. He's obviously got a big scoop on. Here we go. He's put Wyndham Road the 96 quite fast.
Husky?
I don't know. Is that what you mean,
Could have been
Dave?
a Yamaha, I think.
Maybe. Would he like? Someone's put. Would he love to ride at Saddleback or Carlsbad?
I rode Carlsbad.
Carlsbad. Yeah.
I rode at Carlsbad on a 65. I was 9 years old. They had a KTM dealer show there, and it was, I mean, a profound experience because it's Carlsbad, right? Like it's never been prepped. The bumps are like bigger than my bike and me combined, and it's one of the coolest kind of memories that I have. It was really awesome to get to do that and to just be able to ride that place and say that I rode it. Now it's an industrial estate. It's completely gone. So I would like to ride Saddleback. Definitely neither of those are like my style of track now. I'm more of like a loamy dirt rutted kind of guy, and those were blue groove hard packed with ridiculous bumps, so
He's put, oops, I still thought you was on a Dixon Yam. No, he's looking for Husky now, Dave. Come on.
Yeah, need a Husky.
You could sort him out. Dave. You've got the contacts everywhere around this in the UK with the Evo and in Europe. I reckon Dave could hook you up somehow or another.
For sure.
Zach, I have an RM250 96 available as it's too fast for Lee. I've been talking about a bit of a comeback, so he's got one in his possession apparently.
Nice.
Did you like Canada
they have
Heights?
I love Canada Heights.
Carry on.
They have the Daytona Vintage Race. They have the Daytona Supercross, then the Daytona Amateur Race, and then they have the Daytona Vintage Race. And I saw some really cool bikes from there, but one of them was a McGrath 97 Suzuki. Those were pretty sick. My uncle was a huge McGrath fan, and he's kind of the one who got me into motocross, and he always had just whatever Jeremy rode graphics. It was just like a replica bike every year. So I saw that the other day and thought of him. It was the Yamaha or the Suzuki Troy bike. It was pretty sick.
I'm pretty sure I got that 97 when he was on the Suzuki as well.
Really?
I was on
That's awesome.
125, yeah. But it was pretty cool. It did look cool on the Suzuki.
Yeah.
So yeah, you said about you liked Canada Heights. Dave just come up.
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed Canada Heights. Obviously, it
Mm.
was not far from Mel's house, like an hour, and I just thought it was always just a super gnarly, rutted track, and it was really good.
I remember it always being softer down the bottom and a bit harder at the top.
Yeah, the one year we went there, I think it was 2009. The bottom part was like it hadn't rained. It snowed the day of the race for a while, but the bottom was so marshy, and the ruts were like just ridiculous waist deep ruts, and they were from pole to pole on the track. Like the whole time you were just basically riding in a rut. It was crazy.
That's cool. I've got Lewis Matthew here. He's put, can you shout out Matt Finney? It's his 18th birthday today.
Yeah, what's up, Matt? Happy birthday, dude.
Sweet, thank you very much. And then I've got Chris Stevens just put, did you ever get offered a chance to race for Mitch Payton when you were younger?
Yeah, I did. What the year that I left Europe, so 2012 going into 2013, I had an offer from Mitch, an offer from Geico, an offer from TLD Honda, and actually a Rockstar Suzuki offer at the time, which was the same team and manager and crew chief that I have now. The crew chief then is the team manager now, but Bobby Hewitt was the guy who owned the team. And I ended up taking the Geico deal, obviously. But yeah, I did have an offer from Mitch that year. And the biggest thing for me was I wanted to ride the bike because I knew the bike that I was on was really good. And I just didn't want to be taking a step backwards, which none of the bikes that I ended up riding were really a step backwards. They were just different in their own way, But he was really adamant that he didn't want me to ride the bike. It was either like kind of take the deal or don't. And I was able to ride all the other bikes, and I ended up choosing the Geico bike.
Was that something you would have liked to have done?
Ride for Mitch? Yes and no. Definitely not really my style of environment. I'm a little bit more like low key, low pressure. That's kind of where I thrive. And I think that that's not that way. So yeah, I don't know how it would have went. And, it may have been the best thing ever, but I think our decisions kind of lead us to where we're supposed to be. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Who's been your biggest influences in your career in general to date?
Steve still is a huge influence in my career. Like there's a lot of things that I still do today that I learned from him, and the team, the boys that were on the team. They kind of molded me a lot of where I am today. Like when I went there, I was kind of a little lost, like I was really kind of searching for success as a professional, as an adult, that I had as an amateur. And I kind of just hadn't really found my identity yet as a racer. So I think that a lot of the lessons that I learned there from Steve and the team, and also Big Mel Pocock, Kenneth Gunderson, who trained me, all the people who were kind of involved in that like 5-year span for me were huge influences to who and where I am today. It's something that I reflect on quite often, and I think that those were the people who kind of really set the tone or the bar for where I was going.
I've got someone's put, would you like to see a super final in the Supercross of 450 and 250s in together? I presume that means.
Not really. There's just a different level of racecraft and respect in the two classes, but that's not in a bad way. It's just the styles of racing are completely different. Those guys, the 250 guys, they go out in practice and they're like smashing each other on the first lap of free practice, whereas the 450 guys is kind of like more mellow, and they're older guys. And I just think it would be a blueprint for a lot of controversy and takeouts, and not good.
Sounds like this is what he wants. Someone's Lee Britton just put, would you go back to Steve before you retired and do maybe one final British Championship?
He kicks that around all the time,
Does he?
just one way,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know. Like I said earlier, it's just so hard with the way things are now to imagine being able to travel freely and go and do whatever you feel like, So, um, yeah, I mean, I would love to do some races or whatever, but I don't know if I will ever do another full season.
Who's your closest friends in and around the paddock then, Zach? Who's the guys you sort of hang with a little bit or a bit friendlier than others?
Yeah, obviously the guys that I train with and my teammates are the most close.
Yeah.
Cooper and Marvin and RJ Hampshire, I'm really good friends with. Some of the I'm a little bit of an old soul, so a couple of the team managers I'm good friends with. And yeah, I think, you just kind of, it's a little bit more cliquey here where, you don't just go and talk to anyone, there's a little bit of I don't know, like a line that you don't cross. And
Yeah.
so it's really easy to be friends with those people because I'm with them every day, basically.
Yeah. Chris Stevens put, do you follow the youth and amateur motocross in the US? And if so, are there any names we should be looking out for in the coming years?
I don't really follow it. I know there's quite a few kids coming through the pipe that are really good. I mean, the extent of me following it would be following them on Instagram, I guess. Like Hayden Deegan, I think he's going to be really good. Jet Reynolds, Daxton Binnick, Ryder DiFrancesco. There's quite a few good kids coming through, but it's such a hard transition to make from child superstar to 250 class winner. It's such a hard thing, and the tides have kind of turned a little bit in that respect of where kids are winning at now. There are those generational James Stewarts that just step up and win right away. But now I feel like the guys that are winning and leading championships and so on and so forth are 24, 25, 26 years old, and they're a little bit more seasoned. They've got some racecraft under their belt, and some of them have families or are married or have different motivations, and that's when things kind of start to track in the right direction.
It's very interesting how people's careers work. Like, you come over to Europe, kick-started your career again, and you've gone on to amazing things, obviously, back in the US. Obviously, it's very interesting how these things can work out.
Yeah, it is. It's strange how things form up, and like, it's easy to put those expectations and those projections on kids that are 12, 13, 14 years old, that this is the next star. And then, the factories dump literally millions of dollars into them. And it's hard for them to get off the ground when get their career off the ground when they go pro. But I think that there's lessons that kind of have to be learned or bought. And that's, you just got to take the knocks,
Yeah, I remember when Lawrence was racing with Ryan Villopoto and stuff like that. He was obviously, and then he just disappeared, didn't he, off the scene and all that sort of thing. So you just don't know how these things are going to go. Do you think that Jet Lawrence can go all the way to the top? Paul Spencer's asked.
I think so. He's a mega talent. There's so many things that have to go right to be all the way at the top, as your question asks. But I think that the pieces are there. It's just you got to have a little bit of luck. You got to have a lot of time. It's there's so many things that have to go perfect for you to get to the top. So definitely the capability is there. And I think he will be a star of the sport someday.
Does he think the MX2 in MX2 and the GP should scrap the age rule?
I don't know. I do think it should be lifted a little bit to maybe 25 or 26. And the reason I say that is because there's really not enough rides to support the 23 age in MX1 or MXGP.
Yep.
So I think that I think that it could be moved up a little bit at least, but I don't hate the rule. I think that it's brought a lot of new blood into the 250 class and a lot of new blood into the 450 class as well. But I think that there just needs to be more sort of jobs to support that rule and that role in the MX1 class or MXGP class before that they just set the bar at 23.
Lee Britton's put 2 AMA championships or 1 world championship. What would you rather have?
2 AMA championships.
I thought you might say that. Oh, so sorry about that, Adam. So when Adam posted that before, apparently Todd the Hoops got injured at Daytona and Jeff.
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that. It's going to be doing some auctions for him. Oh, sorry, I didn't. That's what you meant about the road to recovery thing from before.
Okay.
No, I didn't know about that. So yeah, all the best for that. I'll have to check that out. This is a funny one. Nathan has put, does Zach work on his quads or are they natural? Funny video of Dean taking the mickey out of how tight his trousers are.
No, I don't actually work on them. They're just natural.
Natural.
It's something that I shy away from. Actually, I wish there was a way to work them smaller, but there's just not.
Like that. Most people are chasing that, Zach, so don't wish them away. Right. Chris Stevens, but listening to you speak fondly of your time in Europe, would you recommend it to other younger American riders if they asked you for your advice?
That's a tough question. It's not for everyone, No. I had spent a lot of time in Europe as a 12, 13, 14-year-old kid, so I kind of knew what I was getting into. But if you take some kid that's from, California and throw him into my situation, maybe it goes differently, It's just what you are into or capable of or what you're willing to do to get what you want or need. For me, it was just like a completely new outlook and a fresh breath of air toward racing and the way it could be done and the way you could go to the race and have fun. You could enjoy the people that you're around. It was just such a not best thing when I went there, and it was so refreshing for me. But some people see it as some kind of huge punishment, and that's never going to work. I think when you have the right attitude and things are going your way, it's easy and it's good. But when things are sideways and you miss home, it gets tough. And if you don't have that support system around you, like I did with Steve and the team and the Pococks and everyone that was around me, it could get tough quick.
You've obviously raced with all the top guys from all over the world, in America, in the AMA, and in Europe, and the GPs, and you come to the British Championship as well. Was there any guys that you didn't actually enjoy racing with? You didn't enjoy racing with them? You always seem to come together with them, or any reason like that?
No, not really. I mean, not like anyone I hated or anything like that. Like I spoke about earlier, there were some rivalries like in the British Championship and stuff, but nothing like, oh, I'm going to blast this dude because I don't like him or, something like that. And there was never really any of that, vice versa. So, not any really one I really hated.
Gary David has put, Jeremy McGrath said it would be good to see the 250 and 450 take turns on a fresh groomed track for Supercross each week. What's Zach think for the main event?
So he's saying like switch the schedule, I'm assuming. Well, it would be tough because, we would basically have to have two completely different bikes because the bike is set up for those gnarly, rough, rutted main events where you need a couple of different things. You need some plushness to take the bumps and the ruts and kind of rideability. And then you obviously need it to be stiff for the jumps and stuff. So we would kind of need to set that up differently and just go for stiff and something that's going to just be really stable when the track's wide open. So I don't think it's a terrible idea. We hardly ever see a fresh track, even during practice. Like the 250 guys always ride first at home. So, I've seen a fresh track like maybe 3 times this season. So it would be a big adjustment for all of us, but I don't think it would be a bad thing.
No. Do you spend a lot of time practicing the starts?
I do. I just do like an amount of them daily. You know, it's not like I just sit and do starts all the time, but I do kind of keep them repetitive every day that I ride.
Not too sure what was happening there on that one.
I don't know either.
Caption that.
That's in
Caption.
Paris.
It's
Yeah,
get it
that's
on
in
YouTube,
Paris. I don't
Insta.
know what that is.
Yeah.
What I would have been looking at.
Just got a few photos I'll just put up for the guys to see while I've before we.
Oh, that's that Unadilla race we were talking about earlier.
That is pretty.
It was mental. It was so
That is
wet.
crazy. That is so bad.
They delayed the second race for I don't know, like 3 hours. Like it was almost dark when the 450 moto took off, and because there was lightning for 3 hours, literally 3 hours, and yeah, it was crazy.
I do like this advert. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's a cool one. That's from 2017. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, I do like that one. This is a nice one. I like this one.
Yeah, that's testing before the 2019 season at the KTM track.
Nice Roos one.
Yeah, that's High Point 2015.
I like that one.
I don't know that one. Oh, it's San Diego 2015.
It's a nice one as well.
Little practice picture, yeah.
Where's that other one? Oh, I really like this one. Really like that one. Proper hole
I'm
in
gonna
there.
say that is. I was gonna say Southwick, but it doesn't look like Southwick. Maybe Colorado in 2017.
Very good speed
Yeah, I
one.
think
That
Colorado.
one.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool picture.
Gotta love a berm smash.
Yeah, photo shoot from 2019.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's sick. That's from our track at the Baker's Factory.
That's really cool.
Nice.
Nice roofs on there.
I don't know where that is.
I like that one.
Southwick.
I love Southwick berm.
I love those boots. I need some more of those boots.
Let's have a look. Yeah. What
They're
you like
black.
them ones with a?
Yeah.
Nice.
They were trick. That was a good weekend for me. Donington Park, 2008 Destinations. I rode for Puerto Rico, and I passed Michael Byrne in the last turn on Saturday to put us in the first A main of Puerto Rico's career. So it's pretty sick. They were so pumped about it.
That's cool. Nice one there.
Matterly. Little test track action. Glen Helen, maybe? Yeah, Glen Helen.
If I
One
had
of my
to,
least favorite places on earth.
Is it? Is it? You don't like that?
Yeah. It's up there among my least favorite tracks. Easily top 3.
Is it that bad? Ian's put as well, Zach, as a lot of people have been saying this tonight, Zach, over in the UK, you're well loved over here. Our honorary Brit rider, thank you and good luck with the outdoors this year, and another great interview, Lee. Ken Winstanley's put, Zach did some of the KWS Masters. He was great to watch and an honour to have him at my meetings and still at the top of his game.
Yeah, I always enjoyed doing the KWS because mostly because the pay was awesome and the tracks were always good. It was always well organized. You know, if I remember correctly, we did like the motos at times, so it was like 12-1-2-3 or 11-12-1-2 or whatever. But yeah, it was always so much fun to race those races and just have something to do and make some good money on the weekends.
Just ask you a couple more. Really appreciate your time, Zach. It's been really cool.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoyed it.
If you could give advice to any youngster currently racing in youth motocross that wanted to go pro, what would you say to them guys, Zach?
It's a tough question. It's a commonly asked question, but like to me, you know, once I lost the fun in racing, things kind of just went downhill for me, you know, and oftentimes if I'm struggling, it's because I'm putting too much pressure on myself or I'm not having enough fun or, you know, enjoying it and being grateful for what I get to do every day. So for me, it would be just remember why you started, which was to have fun and because you enjoyed it, and just try to not put too much pressure or expectation on yourself.
If I had to push you on this one, just a bit of a fun one, if I had to say to you, who's the 3 best riders you've ever raced with in your career?
I've ever raced with?
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Hurlins, yeah.
Probably Chad, but just because he's a legend, you know. Yeah. And probably Kenny.
Cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
Last one I was going to ask you, obviously, I'm sure you've been watching, like you said, from perspective side, when you're injured, you sort of watch things and maybe pick up things and that sort of thing. But what riders do you enjoy to watch race now? Who would excites you if you watch a race when?
Yeah, I love to watch Justin Cooper ride. I think it's probably mostly because he's short and kind of, like same stature as me. I like to watch him ride. I think he's just so smooth and so good on the bike. I enjoy watching Dean ride. I think Dean's a mega talent in the sport. I think he's so talented, and I envy his legs and his ability to whoop and wheel tap and all that stuff that I'm, marginal at for the best for the most. So I really enjoy watching Dean ride. I think he's a really good rider and does a lot of things really well. Also, Jason, I have a little bit tall guy envy with him too, but he's very smooth and just so different, the polar opposite to my riding style. If I'm over here, he's over here, so a bit of he's just so smooth and so fluid on the bike. And it seems when he's riding, it looks so easy, it's never in crisis on the bike, and he's never behind the bike or in front of the bike. It's just always just so flowy and so in unison. It's something special when he's on.
Beautiful. Really cool to meet you, Zach. I really appreciate your time, buddy. Thank you very much to Mikey Whitewick as well for hooking it up with you. I really appreciate that. Been awesome. Yeah. Really appreciate it, mate. Top man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it. Sorry for the delay in the start, but we got it sorted out and made it happen.
Thank you very much, Zach. I'll keep in touch with you, and hopefully we can maybe sort out Brownie. That'd be cool.
Yeah, no problem at all. He's hard to nail down, but I will get you in contact with him.
Top man. Thank you very much, Zach.
Sounds good. Thanks, bud.
I'll share you this with you tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get it out there on social media so people can see it that didn't see it live. That'd be great.
Okay, great.
Thanks very much. Top man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zach. All the best for the rest of the season. Cheers, mate.
Oh, thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, Zach. Thanks, mate. Top man. What a ledge. Mr. Zach Osborne. Awesome to get to speak to one of the current AMA champions as well. Like a lot of you guys have mentioned, especially in the UK, we definitely look at Zach as an honorary Brit, coming over and winning the British Championship over here with Steve Dixon's team, and Mikey Whitewick as his interview then, as his mechanic, and all them guys, Ben and stuff, and all them guys has been really cool. Great to have him on. Thanks again very much to Tom Brown from Moto Extreme down there in Marshfield for hooking me up with that signed Osborne jersey to have there on display. Really appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. He always hooks me up with some amazing memorabilia for these interviews, which is really cool. Goes down well. Appreciate that. I'll catch up with your comments in a second. Just want to say I've got around I think it's about 48 tickets left now on the Tortelli replica. So if you guys want to get a ticket for that before I do the live draw on that, it'd be awesome. You can contact me anytime on that. Interviews wise, so far I've sorted out tomorrow evening. I'm sure I did Greg on Monday. So tomorrow evening, I've got 7 p.m. UK time to continue the BSMA Legends series I'm doing with Welsh legend Stephen Holmes. So looking forward to that tomorrow night. And then so far I booked in 7 p.m. on Tuesday with Kiwi legend Mr. Josh Coppins. Looking forward to that as well. Hopefully I'm going to get Jeremy Doncaster and Chris Louis, British legends, Speedway legends, in on the Monday, which I'm just waiting for them to confirm, and then I will get back to you guys on all the others that I've been speaking to. Unfortunately, this is a bit of a crying situation. I did get hold of JMB. Wow. Fair play to Zeb Tortelli. He hooked me up with a contact, got hold of JMB, but unfortunately, he doesn't want to do an interview. He said he's not too keen on to reminisce about the past, which was a crying faces emoji situation. But I did try, and I must admit I was a bit excited when I got an email back from JMB. Who wouldn't be, eh? But unfortunately, it wasn't what I wanted to read when it came back. So it's a bit of a gutting one, that one. But yeah, I did try. I thought it was close, but too far, I'm afraid. Thank you very much, Dietmar there. Cool to get German guys on. I'm not sure who wrote that, but thank you very much. Thanks, AMA champion and great guy. Awesomely, thanks. Thanks very much, Richard, for coming on. Vanessa Green, that was fantastic. Thanks, Zach. What a great interview, Lee. Yeah, Zach's a great guy, really down to earth as well, and speaks very well, and is a very genuinely nice lad as well. So it's great to get him on. Thank you very much, Gary. Looking forward to Stephen Holmes. Yes, I think Stephen Holmes will be it's a very interesting story. He dominated all the schoolboys and in the youth in the BSMA, and then he went pro for a year, I believe. But a lot to discuss about that, let's say. So it'll be very interesting to see what he's got to say about that. He was at Sail Clean Honda at the time, maybe around about 1991. I think he did a year in the pros, as far as I'm aware. But I'm sure he'll give you all the lowdown on all that, and a great story to come with that. So we'll look forward to that. And so there's only I think it's just under 50 tickets now for the bike competition. So if anyone wants to get any more tickets for that, then hook me up, message me on any of the media, or if you've got my number or thing. Another one as well I'm trying to get still, fingers crossed, is Damon Bradshaw. So I have got a contact for him now, so fingers crossed. I've been trying to get hold of that. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get hold of the beast from the east, as we say. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Any time of day. So fingers crossed on that as well. Been speaking to loads of Speedway guys and loads of motocross guys, so hopefully I can get some replies back off them guys soon as. But here's the video of the bike competition I'm running now. Like I said, get hold of me as soon as possible to get hold of the tickets. Hopefully in the next week or so, should be hopefully get the live draw going for this superb bike. Certainly is a peach. Someone's going to be very lucky to win that little baby there. It's going to be very cool to win that. That'll be another nervous live draw to add to the other nervous live draws. It's ended up being more nervous for them than for the rider ones. Obviously, it'd be great if you guys can, if you're in my Facebook group where most of the action happens, is really cool. We got over 7,000 members in there now, which is great. There's an invite button in the group as well that you can invite any of your friends, family that are interested in Speedway and motocross that would love to be in the group. Then invite them in, please, by all means. That'd be cool. Hopefully they accept the invite. Got the Facebook page for the competitions as well. We're on Instagram. The lives go out on Twitter as well. You can ask questions from if they're not on Facebook. Also got my YouTube channel that you can subscribe to for free. And there's loads of other interviews going back like 9-10 months now, so there's lots to catch up with. If you probably didn't even know about half the ones that I've done, you can check that out on YouTube. You can put my motocross and speedo memories in there, or my name or something, I'm sure the channel will come up. Yeah, I'll just show you that quickly. And also my website is motocrossandSpeedwaymemories.co.uk. There's always a big countdown on the front to the next interview and all loads of stuff you can check out on there as well. But you just check this out. And we went for number 2 then, didn't we? Yeah, hopefully Ian's going to get a 250 Kawasaki polished up. I can try and get hold of some kit from somewhere and have a little go. I'm talking to someone about potentially going to a natural track for some practicing. So hopefully Ian can get some buffing that 250 up. I have had one go on a 252 stroke about a couple of years after I retired, and so about 2002 I went on my cousin's 252 stroke Kawasaki, and I went on to ride it like a 125, which didn't go down too well with my cousin at the time. But I wouldn't be able to ride the 252 stroke like a 125 now, that's for sure. Adam Winslet's put try Eric Cantona. Oh, actually, Adam, when's your interview with when is your interview with you've got Cole Fogarty, haven't you? Is that on so I know it's a Wednesday if I'm right. It might be a week today, if I'm right. Just double checking the calendar. I think a week today Adam's got Cole Fogarty, which should be interesting. I have spoke to a couple of TT guys as well, so hopefully I might go into a couple of road racing ones. It'd be quite cool. So that'd be interesting. There it is, 17th of March, Adam's put, which is a week today, I believe. So Adam's got Cole Fogarty on. He may have another one at the end of this week, but you have to wait and see on that one with a bit of a legend if that comes off. So I'm sure Adam will keep you guys up to date with that one. Is 7. Do you want a t-shirt, Adam? He said he's doing it 7 p.m. UK time. Do you want to borrow a t-shirt? Thank you, ma'am. Here we go. Live 7 p.m. UK time. Never know, might do some merchandise if people are interested in these. Got stuff everywhere here. Look, got mouse mats. My Laney Lou sorted me out. My mum sorted me out t-shirts. You've seen a couple in the background. Got like diaries. Look, they're pretty cool. Very cool, the diaries. I got pads even there. Look, my pad. It's very cool as well. Even a pen. You can see that. Motocross and Speedo Memories pen. Yeah, you never know. People might be interested in it. It's a very cool logo, if you ask me, but I'm a little bit biased on that. With the legend Stefan Everts on there, and also former world champion Sam Ermolenko, who I am trying to hook up as well. Excuse me. Yes, Ian. Suzuki. He knows about my. I think you said it's a 96 250, didn't you? That was my first ever sponsored bike, 96 125 Suzuki from Taylor's in Chippenham in the Wiltshire. That was very cool. And then I had a 97 Suzuki and a 98. They were my favourite years, to be fair, in the later on when it was getting sponsored bikes. So that was cool until I got asked to go to TM for 99. I think we know the story on that. And finished on the Honda, but I'd love to have stayed on Suzuki's. I did really gel with that Suzuki 96, 97, 98 was cool, especially the 97, 98 one. But yeah, love to have a few laps, get back into it a little bit, have a few laps, see how it goes. Hopefully not lost any ability, but I've certainly lost the fitness, that's for sure. It's only 21 years ago. Sure, it'll be fine. Have a little ride round, maybe with Adam. We'll have to ride round at 7 p.m. UK time, Adam. and be finished by 7:01. Right then, stop waffling, Lee. So I will be back on tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. UK time, with Mr. Stephen Holmes, the Welsh legend. He's been sending me some photos today, digging out some pictures, and so hopefully I'll have a few of those legendary pictures of him with the old Oakley face mask on. Many would have remembered them days, around 89, I think it was, something like that, on the 125. That's how I remember him. But obviously, he sent me a lot of pictures of him on hundreds and all sorts. So we should have some cool photos, lots to discuss tomorrow night. So hopefully, a lot of you will join me at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, hook me up if you want to get hold of some tickets for the bike. Message me on Facebook or whatever you want to do. My contact details on my website and all that as well. If you want to WhatsApp me, text me, whatever you want to do, you can get hold of me. Is there anything else I needed to say? So yeah, I've got that tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have some more information on the reunion soon. We're just going to call it, we know obviously a lot of it's the BSMA reunion, but we're just going to call it Motocross and Speedway Memories Reunion. And we'll name some of the groups after some people that we'd just like to honour. Me and Kevin, our dads, for sure. And there'll be like a group we'll name after Mark Hucklebridge, the legend himself, as well. I got to race with him in the hundreds and 125 seniors and stuff before he went on to pro. He had a great career, so that'd be great to honour him as well. And I know that we're going to do with Mr. Tucker as well, the chairman that was at my club, Morden, for sure. We will honour him as well, so that'd be nice to do as well. So yeah. See you all soon, people. I will leave you with my dad's quote, bless him, that it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. I will hopefully join me tomorrow evening. Hopefully see you all soon. Thank you very much for all your questions. They were spot on. And it was a great evening with Mr. Zach Osborne, with the current 450 AMA champion. That was pretty cool. Great interview, mate. Ian Chesterman. Look, I'm off to rate the springs on the RM. Yes, exactly, mate. Yeah, we might need some work on the suspension. Yeah, I definitely want to be on top of it, not in it. I'll have to stop eating so much, eh? I'll start knocking a stone or two off. But yeah, I look forward to just getting that back out on a bike. Would be nice. Do a few laps and see how it feels and all that. Would be cool. A few wheelies, at least. Thank you very much, Ian, as well, for your time and saying about your bike and that. Really appreciate it, mate. A few people have spoke to me about some kit, so you never know. We'll see what happens, but you never know. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It'd be nice to just have a get back on a bike and have a little go, get off the chest and all that. Right, see you all soon. Ciao, Bella. Good evening and good night. Good bless and all that. Ciao, Bella.